It's never enough for you, you see. It doesn't matter how critical journalists are about Israel. It will never be enough for you because you want the right. You want the right to suggest that Charlie Kirk was the subject of a hit job by Israel. You want the world to think that. That's why you said what you said. And that's why when I asked you, you went, Netanyahu says it wasn't him.
By the way, I'm not even the only one. People are actually, here's the thing. If you continue lying to your people, right? I'll tell you what. Let's call me a conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah.
Call me someone who is illogical. Call me whatever you want. If your government continues to lie to you consistently, this is where conspiracy theorists thrive. If you're not transparent,
why do you want to be one of them?
If you want to cover, no. I'm not saying I'm one.
Why? Why float a mad conspiracy theory about Israel?
Because it's the internet, and I'm a comedian.
Okay, but it's not that funny, though, is it?
Actually, a lot of people thought it was very funny.
You have millions, I'm sure they did, but millions of people follow you, and you want them to think that Israel was behind the murder of Charlie Kirk. And you call me an ill-informed, irresponsible journalist.
Yeah, because I'm not a journalist. I'm a comedian. Remember, I'm a clown. I
don't think you're a clown.
That's what I do. Oh, I'm a clown. Actually, I'm a comedian. Comedians are actually overpaid.
But I think you're somebody who is so blindly hateful of all things Israel that you'll even promote hate.
Conspiracy theories online on social media claiming that Israel and the Mossad are behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk because he was turning on Israel. Now, you spoke to him just hours before his death. Did you feel that that was the case, that he was in fact turning on Israel?
Look, Lidar, I was in touch with Charlie on an almost daily basis for months, and he certainly had some disagreements with Israeli policy, and he criticized Israel where he felt appropriate. He sometimes believed things, like a lot of people do, that are out there in the media, and that was really the substance of our relationship, was checking on things and finding out the truth. But that doesn't mean that he was immune to the negative sentiments that were out there, and there were a lot of people around him in the America First movement who were actively working on him to try to get him to turn on Israel. But the real answer to your question is the meeting that I had with him. And the entire purpose of the meeting, called by Charlie called this meeting, and it was on our schedule for weeks, was that he was going out on a campus tour. Utah was the first stop on his new campus tour. And what a lot of people in Israel do not realize, or in the pro-Israel community do not realize, is that between 40 and 50% of all of the questions and challenges that he would get on these campus tours were usually about Israel. Because the campuses, of course, have a lot of anti-Israel sentiment, and Charlie was known as a supporter of Israel. So he ended up being in a position where he was defending Israel all the time. And it drove him crazy because he wanted to talk about America, but he was defending Israel all the time. So in preparation for this new campus tour, he called a meeting of a few people that he trusted to talk about Israel issues and to anticipate the questions that he would be getting, the challenges that he would be getting on this campus tour, and to make sure that he had the truth and that he could formulate answers that he was comfortable with. If Charlie had turned on Israel, why would he even bother with a meeting like that? Why would he call a meeting with a few pro-Israel friends of his to talk through Israel issues, to make sure that his facts were straight and his talking points were straight so that he could defend Israel better? If he was turning on Israel, he would have had Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson in the meeting planning to throw Israel under the bus. The entire premise of the meeting refutes that theory.
Just spoke to a source very close to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and there has been a wave of speculation about Charlie Kirk's view on Israel and his relationship with Bibi Netanyahu, fueled by public allegations. But according to this source, those claims are false. The insider says that on May 2nd of 2025, this year, Prime Minister Netanyahu received a 7-page letter from Charlie Kirk focused on the disinformation war being waged against Israel. This source saw the letter, and according to this person, he says Charlie allegedly opened the letter by writing this: "One of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews in the fight to protect Judeo-Christian civilization." He allegedly then went on to warn, "On my recent campus tours, half of the questions I get are about Israel, and they are all negative." Even in young MAGA circles, Israel is losing support. The source goes on to tell me that Charlie listed examples of the libels he was hearing repeatedly on US campuses, including this: Israel is an apartheid state. Why does Israel conduct ethnic cleansing? Why is America subsidizing Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people? Israel and the Jews are running US foreign policy. Israel and the Jews are responsible for 9/11. Now, this insider tells me Charlie then laid out detailed recommendations for how Israel could fight back in the information war, allegedly writing this: "The Holy Land is so important to my life, and it pains me to see support for Israel slip away." And just 2 weeks before his death, the source says Charlie and the Prime Minister spoke directly. During that conversation, the Prime Minister invited Charlie to visit Israel, an invitation that Charlie was considering, though no date had been set. Now, finally, regarding the allegations that during the Bill Ackman meeting in August at the Hamptons, Netanyahu called in allegedly and offered Charlie millions of dollars to somehow silence him, this source, very close to the Prime Minister, again dismissed those allegations about the money, calling it complete nonsense. According to this insider, the truth is clear. Charlie Kirk was not pulling away from Israel. He was advocating for it, warning of growth hostility and urging strong action to defend its reputation, especially on the college campuses where Charlie was often asked so many questions.